Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another AMA. Sorry, I am a little late tonight. I was up filming a video on altcoin season. So make sure you stay tuned and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check that out. I think that we are right around the corner from an exciting altcoin season that is going to melt faces. So while I know that I'm late, sorry about that, guys. Apologize. While we let some people trickle in here, I will start off by giving you some updates. Let's see. So let's talk about Globe for a second. We had some issues with the IDO, and that was because we did, from what I understand, the world's largest IDO to date. Raising almost $3 million for a project in less than an hour. So we had tremendous traffic, not to mention there's bots and things like that. So we had to delay and scale up nodes on our end and things like that in order to accommodate. So wasn't without some hiccups, but however, we did it and very, very excited. I think today, I don't know if it's happened yet or not, they're doing their liquidity bootstrapping. I don't know what P stands for, LBP. And I think on Balancer, basically a bonding curve sale. So it will be really interesting to see how much that token ends up going for, considering everyone who got in at the IDO bought it for $1. So we will see how that does. Let's see. With that being said, let me talk to you a little bit about Ignition. As I've mentioned before, admittedly, when it was first built, it was built with like a mediocre framework, and yeah, that was not great. We were in a rush to get it up. We hired some third-party dev, and admittedly, it was a piece of crap. So, but we have hired amazing senior developers with so much experience. And they have been working the past month, 6 weeks or so, to entirely rebuild the back end. And that should be live within the next week or so. So when this happens, it'll be really high quality, clean code, and we should have very, very smooth IDOs moving forward. So thank you for bearing with us, those of you who have, and those of you who give us crap for screwing up, like. That's fine. Maybe I'd give people crap too if they kept having some hiccups, but thank you for understanding nonetheless. And I'm not hating on you for doing it. Keep us accountable, make sure that we step up our game, and we're on top of it. All right, let's go. Let's see, what else? Anything interesting else? I mean, there's lots of stuff going on. Yeah. Apollo X. You see the video we dropped? It's in the pinned tweet on my Twitter. That's exciting, right? So I've been hinting at the Kusama version. And even though we haven't made the official announcement yet for it, I'll share a little bit more details with you guys tonight. Basically, what is Apollo X? Apollo X is Ignition's Kusama. It's that wild cousin of Ignition. It is the less tried and tested version. It is the no promises and no guarantees, just raw IDO. What does that mean? That means that we're forking Ignition and basically creating a second Launchpad. It will also use a paid token. However, it's going to be a different lottery model. It's going to have a lottery model with guaranteed allocations, similar to something like TrustSwap does or BSC Pad does. We're still doing research to find out exactly how we want to run that lottery model. So if you have some ideas, please feel free to share. But we also want to make this more fair for everybody, make sure that everybody gets involved with a low barrier to entry. And we will probably also be adding caps per participant. So, so it's not like a whale's ocean, basically, and really excited about the team that we brought on. If you pay attention to like Master Ventures, Twitter, Master Ventures community, and what we're doing at Paid, you will see that we recently started working with or absorbed the Grow Crypto team, which is a kick-ass team. A lot of my favorite people in crypto are part of that team, and now they're under the Master Ventures brand and part of the Paid family. So these guys, if like, make super high quality content. If you saw this teaser video for Apollo X, I mean, people loved it. They thought it was like, you know, the intro to a metaverse game or some type of, you know, game or thriller movie or something. They also made the really cool video for Split, you know, with the speech from, I think, like one of the JFK or something, where he talks about going to the moon, and then Elon Musk at the end running out. Like, I love that video, gave me goosebumps. And so just an amazing team. And this is who's going to be behind a lot of what we currently do for Paid Network. So, you know, what do we do for Paid Ignition launches is we really support the projects, you know, from bringing on KOLs and marketing, and support them on, you know, how to have a successful launch. Believe me, if we weren't involved in a lot of these projects that they launch and took a non-assisted type of approach, these projects wouldn't do nearly as well as they did. You know, we help shape them and take a very hands-on approach to having them launch. You know, make sure that their communities are thriving, make sure that, you know, they have KOLs on board, make sure that they, you know, do the very basics, you know, that a lot of these developer heavy teams don't understand the important things to do, and we kind of help coach them. And that's exactly what you can expect from our new extended team to be doing for Apollo X. I'm actually really excited and a little bit, to be honest, a little bit, you know, I mean, I don't want to say concerned, but like, they might show us up, you know. We're saying that Apollo X is going to be the Kusama version, but, you know, this team is really amazing with their marketing skills and just like the cool like memes and gifs and things that they bring. I have a lot of faith that they're going to really rock and roll and make it look more like Polkadot's sibling than a cousin. So that's exciting. And an official announcement with all the kind of what we decided for the lottery and things like that will be dropping very, very soon. So will AO's moon and when? Yes, soon. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely, I think it's definitely, I mean, come on, I can't give you investment advice, but like, you know, I mean, just look at the fundamentals of the project. You know, it's definitely something I'm the most bullish on, you know, outside of like Paid, but AO's is going to absolutely crush it. There's a couple people that, okay, so lighten up about deeper. Look, I'll just address this shortly in here. I'm not one to start drama on Twitter, but I feel like there's an obligation for me as somebody who talks to you guys and say that we vet projects, because we do, you know. And I think that about Deeper, I think from a technical perspective, they're a strong team. There was no way that we could have known while vetting them that after the fact, a month after they launch, they would come back to the pre-sale and private investors and start doing shady things like canceling their investments, trying to refund money after it's a 23 or 24x, and then also approaching all of the influencers and KOLs that I helped onboard, threatening to cancel their SAFs if they didn't commit to something that they never asked them to commit to in the first place. This is just not ethical. And it is my job, I feel like, to let you guys know that this is a huge problem. And the lack of their desire to make things right and deal with it in an ethical way is a big, big problem. And if this is how they're going to continue to operate and run a business, I feel like it's my obligation to you guys who came to you as someone who was once bullish on Deeper to let you know that I have some serious concerns about the management of the project. And if this is how they're going to act, it's probably not going to be good for them in the long run. And I was in, you know, I was looking in their chat after I made that tweet, you know, the admin in there was just some guy who said, hey, it's not, you know, it's not right that you're canceling agreements and SAFs. And his response to admin was, well, it's better for you guys anyway. So just admitting that this is what they're doing, and no apologies, just saying, well, it's okay if we screwed them over. This will be better for you guys, which is not true. Anyway, I mean, like, they're going to try to dismiss this. And I've never come, you know, I've never up to this point come out about a project and voice concern, but I have to do it when there is shady things going on. And it's a big deal. You know, the 23x on an investment that I invested in February, 4 months ago. I made this investment. My capital has been locked up for 4 months, and they want to come after a month after trading and return that investment. It's not right to do it all. And they're going to try to dismiss it as FUD or whatever, or saying that I'm greedy. It's a conversation that I had with Eric. And everything is by the book. And it's not like me to come out and say this stuff, you know, that I've never done it before. I don't want to create FUD. I feel an obligation to let people know what's going on so they can make their own decisions, do their own research. Whole chat lives in Thailand. Maybe, but I mean, I don't think so yet, but that's our goal. We would like to make, especially where we live, in the south of Thailand, into crypto island. And yeah, that's our goal, really. When will AOs make big corporate partnerships public? So I was just reading some updates on them today. There's a lot going on over at AOs, and they have all kinds of amazing patents that they're going to make public soon about the technology. And I think, from what I remember, some of them have to do with some of these corporate partnerships that they have as well. So maybe they'll make them public. I don't know when they will, but just know that I know at least 4 of them are, and they're really, really big. And that's exactly what a project like AOS needs, you know, to really step up into the mainstream. And it's already been done. It's already inked and done deals. So yeah, exciting about that. Yeah, back to one more thing about Globe too that I didn't mention before is, like, I'm really, really bullish on Globe. It is a big project. You know, it's backed by Pantera, which is one of the largest crypto funds in the world, and with the highest due diligence and things like that. They don't come into a lot of projects, but when they do, they're very confident its ability to succeed. Same thing with people like Tim Draper, you know, invested through Draper Dragon. Same thing like Y Combinator and Wave Financial. Also Huobi, OKX, like other exchanges invested them as well. I don't know if I was supposed to say Huobi, but I'm sure if it's not public already, it will be soon anyway. So it's going to be a huge launch. And the cool thing for everyone who got involved in the IDO is all of the private sale investors don't get any of their tokens unlocked for minimum 3 months, but a lot of them 6 months. So pretty much at launch, there will be 0 sell pressure, which is really, really fantastic for everyone who got into the IDO. And you guys are asking the exact same questions. What brand facial cream are you using? Man, it's just the Thailand sun, I guess, and natural oils. You know, I don't have a facial regimen. Maybe I should, but I think that's what bear markets are for, right? Bear markets, we can hang out at a spa and get facials and massages and things like that. But right now, I wake up straight to work, and now it's 9:30 at night. I just got done filming a video. I had about 10 calls earlier today, and then another call at 8 a.m. tomorrow. So yeah, these kind of things we'll have to wait for bear market. Man, these chats get jumpy all around. So many. 270 people. Make sure you guys like, give a thumbs up, por favor. That would be great. All right. So, are there any plans to do a paid network event after COVID? Definitely. So one of the things that we're, I talk about a lot amongst the team is we want to do like a tropical crypto summit when borders open back up. This will be a Master Ventures type of event where, we have a lot going on for House of DAO, for Paid Network, for Master Ventures and Master Ventures Fund, things like that. But of course, we will invite all the other crypto projects and things like that to join us. We'll have, a roster of all the guest speakers. It'll be like Fire Festival without the scam part of it. So it should be a whole lot of fun. Hanging out in Tropical Island, doing a lot of cool things, have some villa parties, some yacht parties. It will be fun. Hey, Kyle, is the Master Ventures Fund for Polkadot ecosystem coming in May? Yes, I think so. I'm not incredibly involved in the setup of the fund. I have some of my team that's doing it. I just had a call with our main attorney this morning, and I understand there was some holdups. So it's just, setting up these things takes a lot of time and a lot of like bureaucracy and coordinating with different countries and blah, blah, blah. So, but yes, to answer your question, I believe that we will start being able to accept funds within May for sure. Time frame on BNB listing for paid. I'm not sure if your question is listing on Binance or doing BNB or BSC launches for ignition. As far as I understand from the Binance listing team, right now there's a reorganization in Binance on the listing team, so we just have to wait until that process does its process. If you're asking about using BNB for raising on ignition or BSC native projects, we are launching dot finance, dot finance on I believe the 24th, and that should be our first BSC native launch where we're using Binance Smart Chain contracts, raising funds in either BNB or BUSD, and after it launches, it should go to PancakeSwap. I hold paid, never got into one effing sale. Worry not, low cap hodler. Worry not. You are going to love Apollo X. How many IDOs in May? I think it's about 20 or so, between 18 and 22 or something like that. Kyle, can we use our paid tokens for the Kusama Ignition fork? Yeah, so for Apollo X, it'll definitely be a paid Master Ventures production. It will be using paid tokens. So it's just one more way to add value to the paid token ecosystem. Staking your paid tokens will count toward Ignition and Apollo X. So you're basically using one token for two launch pads. That's pretty cool, in my opinion. Any idea when the 10% airdrop is likely to be? Everyone waiting to buy the dip. Friday, from what I understand. That was what in our team meeting I said, make sure it gets done by Friday. The guy responsible, Nick, if you're watching, Friday is what I made. He said, okay. So should be Friday. Vulpe. Ignition sucks for people aren't whales. I feel you, brother. I feel you. And that's why we're creating Apollo X. Most important question. How was your lunch? It was awesome. We had amazing, incredible barbecue chicken. Was so good. Also had like, what do we have? Yeah, some sandwiches, really good salad, good company, amazing view. It's always exciting, because I don't have breakfast. So it was exciting. Every day around 12 o'clock, I'm starting to get pretty hungry and know that a delicious meal is coming in the next 30 minutes or so. And I think everyone on my team feels the same way. Top 3 tokens, what will moon? Watch the video. I made a lot of top 3 videos. I made top 3 DeFi projects, top 3 upcoming projects. Today in my alt season video, I talked about 3 projects I think will moon as well. You just got to watch my YouTube channel now. But I mean, I think that paid right now because of, I think multiple reasons. Last week we had the unlock from private sale investors. Just to give you an idea of the magnitude of the effect, that was the value of the time of paid that we sent out to private sale investors and advisors was about $38 million. So a lot of people were taking profits, and that creates a lot of pressure. And people know when they're trying to sell their profits not to do it in one big pop because there's too much slippage in the price. So they do it over the course of a week or so. So there was that, and then we had this delay from Globe, and we saw some sell pressure from that, people losing faith or whatever. And it's understandable, but it just gives a better buying opportunity. What do I think is going to moon? I mean, I think I'm incredibly bullish about paid, and I even though I have my team tokens that unlock, and 12 months after we launched, I'm still buying paid on the dip because I believe in it, and very, very excited about it. Let's see. You guys know I talk about AOs all the time. I know that ShopX Split is doing some huge things. Basically, and then there's some really, really big ones coming up. So if you guys know our ecosystem, Master Ventures Fuel, MV Fuel, one of the really big ones that I think is super undervalued right now that's coming up, and I think next week or something, is Argo. Argo is going to be really important. So you know how a lot of people are super excited about things like Moonbeam and Plasm, Akala, these middleware solutions really that make it possible for people to build dApps or applications on top of Polkadot. So if Polkadot's like a layer 0, you can consider Moonbeam and Akala and Plasm like a layer 1, and then people like Paid Network can come and build our dApp on top of those layer 1s that ultimately allow it to use a Polkadot network. So Arweave is another great like layer 0 type of protocol, base layer. Really, really impressive the way that it operates, and the consensus mechanism, the speed and scalability, amazing technology. However, it's really, really difficult for people like us to build dApps on top of Arweave. So what basically how I like to describe Argo to people is it's going to be that kind of middleware solution to allow people to build applications on top of Arweave. And if you've if you've seen my YouTube videos, you'll know that I'm very bullish on protocol coins, layer 1s. I talked to another really cool one today called Partisia that we're probably going to be investing into. But I think Argo has huge potential, and it's still quite under the radar. All right, I'm just kind of like going up and down here in these questions here. Also, while I scroll through here, someone made a cool suggestion in the group chat, which I thought about too a while back, and I kind of forgot about it. So I'm glad that he brought it up. Another thing that we're thinking about doing too for the Ignition lotteries is more like a traditional lottery system where you can just like go buy lottery or buy lottery tickets, spend 5 or 10 paid, and you get lottery tickets, and they get put into a huge raffle, and then pick some winners out of that, and then they get some allocation. I don't know what the details would be of this, but that would be really cool because people won't have to hold a significant amount, and it runs on a completely different type of lottery rule set. And if this gets a lot of participation, you could see a lot of burning of paid. And I think that would be a very interesting concept to involve. So I do try to pop into the paid community from time to time, and I really appreciate when the community chimes in and gives some cool examples of how we can make our project better. Is the House of DAO a cult? My friend keeps boasting about it, but I'm worried it sounds like a cult. He's all in on paid. Should I be worried? um, I try to tell people like that that like House of DAO would be kind of like 90% of the way to a cult, and that knocking off all that really weird kind of creepy stuff at that last 10%. It's really cult is really culture, and House of DAO is all about culture, and it is about being around like-minded individuals, who think alike and want to hang out with each other, and we probably will have some things that built into the culture there, like I don't know, we'll probably have our own holidays, and we'll probably do our own traditions, and we'll have all these cool things that do on the surface level seem kind of cult like. I wouldn't say that it's actually a cult where we do like wicked, weird things. I would say it's more like a community. And I don't know. It's a funny question. Him being all in on paid, I definitely don't think you have to be worried about that. We are definitely not going anywhere, and we have a lot of long-term plans. So I personally support that idea, obviously. It's funny. What do I think about community auto yield tokens like Zeppelin? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, myself, I'm not like really a big DeFi yield farmer person. And I get pitched like 20 times a week about some yield farming generator, aggregator, auto, this, that, the other thing. And like, I just can't deal with it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about Zeppelin. Will it affect chain of hodl? So chain of hodl is only going back for the last 3 IDOs. So you don't have to worry about any projects that were purchased before then. Lucky 7 bonus I talked about earlier. Those coins should be dropped by Friday. And for like, I have read some comments about people saying like, oh, it was promised last week. The snapshot was taken last week, but it's not as easy. We can't just take a snapshot and go drop to everybody. There's a lot of validation that needs to be done. We actually have to look at the, you can't ask a snapshot, for example, did this person sell their tokens or not? You actually need to go in there and look at it and do some validation and assessment. So it takes time to analyze these things. Admittedly, a snapshot is quick to do, but to look at every one of the wallet holders and see if they followed the rules or not, that takes a while to do, right? And it wouldn't be very smart of us to just go airdrop to everybody. We need to actually do things properly. How big is an unlock the 10% airdrop? I have no idea. I have no idea. I from my gut feeling tells me it's not going to be huge. I don't think that a tremendous amount of people held everything they were airdropped. I definitely think a lot of people did, but I don't think it's a tremendous amount. I'm trying to remember how many tokens were airdropped in the first place for V2. I can't remember, but I don't know the answer to that. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near, nothing near a usual unlock. I don't know if I already answered this. How will paid be connected to Apollo X? It's Apollo X will be using the. I actually talked about this earlier. Same token. Lots of cool things happening. Can we have behind the scenes YouTube documentary of a full front to back of a project? Would be, yeah. So we've talked about that. We're actually doing a lot of things here when it comes down to media. I believe that the world is waking up to crypto. People are becoming more interested, and things like we're doing here in Thailand, just most people couldn't even comprehend. That like most people just know about Bitcoin. They have no idea about all these different projects that are being built in the DeFi space and altcoins and blah blah blah. Certainly, they have no idea that people like us incubate these projects and send them off, and make them public after some time. And they certainly don't know that people like us would be building villages and communities all around the world of crypto, right? So I just know that, and I've seen it, right? We've seen Ben, what's his name? Ben Meisen or whatever, the guy who did The Social Network, is now making basically like a sequel to that movie about the Winklevoss twins, and how they basically come up with Bitcoin after the Facebook settlement. And I know that's going to be a big Hollywood blockbuster. And so the world is becoming more and more interested in the world of crypto. And we basically have started like full scale production here of documenting things that we're doing. And as we scale up, that will scale up too. Probably, I don't know, is it going to be this coming Saturday that we do the Saturday sessions? Yeah. Yeah, so this Saturday, we will, on my YouTube channel, probably be dropping the first Saturday session, little mini documentary kind of thing. It's just like basically another episode on my channel, but it's going to look at the kind of lifestyle that we live out here and give you some kind of behind the scenes, or just kind of a look at what we do when we're not glued to our screens. And on Saturdays, we often like to have like team bonding days. And again, like it's impossible for me to hang out with people that are no coiners. So really, my team are my best friends, and we like, when we're in the office together working, we're all working. But when it's time to go, we try to make time to go do some bonding things and keep our team like a family. And that's what we like to do on Saturdays. So on Saturday, you'll get to see the first kind of Saturday session, as I'm calling them, of our last weekend, and what that was like. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel to see that and kind of see what life is like out here on the island. It was fun. We have a boat, and I just ordered these huge unicorns, like that can fit like 8 people inside of them. So I'm really excited. Hopefully they get here before Saturday, so we can take them out and float in them. That would be fun. I agree. I should do this on AO's tube. I agree. 100% I agree. So I will actually speak to my producer and people helping with the content and see if we can start uploading my content on AO's tube. I 100% agree with you. Not only do I really want to support AO's, but it's also a good hedge. Some people's YouTube channels get taken down if they're worried about strikes and stuff like that. AO's tube is decentralized, and we can put up any kind of content we want there, and we don't have to worry about all this BS censorship and all this kind of stuff. So the thing is that I wouldn't want to take it off YouTube because this is where the audience is, right? But I definitely would want to have it also be uploaded to AO's tube. That's a great point, and definitely try to make that happen soon. I believe in you and your team of great people. Critics are people who've never, ever created anything from ground zero. Critics, please buy me and ask yourself, what have you created lately? I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, I've been an entrepreneur all my life, and every time I've created a business, it's different. There's different things you have to learn, and also, I've advised and incubated, maybe a dozen projects before I started paid, and from that advisor perspective, there's only so much exposure that you get, and you never really understand all the kinds of things that can go wrong until you're actually in it. Furthermore, every model is different, and everything has different things that come up. So, we're new. We're very new. We just launched about 3 months ago. And yeah, I mean, there's going to be, and please, everyone understand that when projects are new, expect hiccups, and that's why when you take a position into a new project, usually the valuation of the project represents kind of where they're at that stage of that project. So for people who are willing to come into a project, and bear with the hiccups that they're going to have, and understand that it's going to happen, and understand that it's not any type of reflection on the quality of the team. When you're dealing with so many moving parts and development, these things happen. And if you believe in the team and believe that they will learn from their mistakes and learn and move forward and onward and upward, then if you were with that project for a long time, as they become more mature, more developed, and more adopted, that price of that project and the valuation will reflect that, and you'll be rewarded tremendously for it. So it's the same thing for anything. Look at Bitcoin. I mean, I was in Bitcoin sub $100, and do you know how many times there was all these like Bitcoin obituaries and people saying that Bitcoin was dead, and blah 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 blah. Same thing for anything. Coinbase, you know how many times that Coinbase thought that it probably wasn't going to make it during these bear markets and people fighting it. I was an early investor in Coinbase as well, and I was with them through the thick and the thin, and now they had one of the biggest IPOs of all time. So exactly. I mean, this is as someone who's been investing in startups for a very long time and had startups of my own and ones that have failed in the past, I really understand the type of dedication it takes to actually see something through. And nobody, I'm sure if you talk to Bezos, from Amazon, he will tell you all kinds of stories about getting started and times that he thought he wasn't going to make it. Probably times that he had emotional breakdowns, because he put his heart and soul into something, and at one point or another, he thought it was going to be over. I mean, this kind of story is told time and time again through all kinds of successful business people. And is this part of, if you want to participate, if you want to be an investor or, someone who participates in the ecosystem, you have to have the appetite for risk, and you have to understand how projects mature over time. And that's the end of that. Is Superpaid project actually? So Superpaid was never a project. Superpaid was just just basically Elliot and myself and our two projects, Paid and Superfarm, announcing that we wanted to collaborate. So some launch pads in the space are collaborative, some are not. We are collaborative. I happen to like Elliot. He happens to like me. And we believe that if we work together on a project, because he's hands-on as well with them as far as helping them, have a successful launch, we believe that, that project might be more successful if they do a dual IDO, for example, on Superstarter and Paid Ignition. So that's what Superstarter, or sorry, not Superstarter, that's Superpaid is all about. So really about our partnership. David, you have such lovely eyes. Thanks, David. Appreciate it. Bavish, I've been a long time holder of Paid, but I don't hold enough for taking the IDO. Will you think about doing something like? Yes, definitely. So that is our goal. With Apollo X, really is to give more opportunity to people. So for example, Bavish, I don't know how many paid you hold, but we want to make it quite a low barrier to entry. And the allocations for low paid holders might not be tremendous, but at least it's something. And it takes something to get you somewhere. So even if you're getting allocations of $20 or $25, and that ends up doing a 20x, that's good money. And then you can roll that into, and you can buy more paid, for example, get access to higher tiers and get more allocation and roll that in. That's how the ball gets rolling. So I understand that ignition might not be feasible for a lot of people to even get that ball rolling. And that's why we want to make a difference and create a different tiered system for people like yourself, Bhavish, that couldn't get access to ignition. Hey, Johannes, what's the timeline of getting your legal contract service, if you can call it that, live, and what's expectations toward the use cases by customers at 2021? Due to some recent issues that we've had with a project that we talked about earlier, you can see why having something like paid, as we call them, we don't call them legal contract service, but we call them smart agreements, why that would be so beneficial, right? So now, in this new thing that just came up, we have to get attorneys involved and try to go to court and blah, 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 and it's a pain in the butt. If we were using paid smart agreements, if they existed yet, this wouldn't be a problem, right? And this is exactly why we want to create it, exactly why it's necessary. So yet again, another valid use case, and I know most of you out there, if you're entrepreneurs or you're freelancers or whatever, you probably have run into this problem before, where someone didn't fulfill their end of an agreement and you didn't know what to do about it because going to court is expensive and time consuming and pain in the butt. That's exactly what Paid Network is aiming to solve. So your second part of the question is, where do we expect to be in the end of 2021? Well, I expect for us to be, from customer acquisition perspective, in a probably just kicking off, by the end of 2021, just kicking off a serious effort for customer acquisition, because that's when I expect for us to be, fully on Substrate, either in a pair thread or a pair chain, and have the full ecosystem developed and built out so that we can seriously start onboarding customers. Basically, we already know a ton of people that would like yourself that would love to use it. And the MVP, by the way, should be done a lot sooner. But it won't be as powerful. The MVP will basically be, DocuSign on chain, which is still cool, and we will still definitely use it. And that'll be the kind of gateway into other people using the full service, when it does come out. Oh man, there's so many questions since. Kyle, is there going to be a cutoff date for Master Ventures LP fund? Can I still get involved somewhere along the way? I still need 4 to 6 weeks to have access to fund. Yep, that would be fine. We are having, without spending too much time, we're having 2 entities set up. One will be in Panama, one will be in BVI. The Panama one will accept only crypto. The BVI will accept fiat and I think crypto as well. But nonetheless, I believe 4 to 6 weeks will be fine. Byron, if you're not already in the Master Ventures community, please make sure you join and stay tuned for updates in there. Kyle, you're the most transparent person in the crypto space. Thank you. I appreciate that. I try to be. It's part of our core values. And it's, I learned that lesson growing up, sometimes being transparent and telling the truth might be hard to do because some people might not like to hear the truth. But in my experience, when I was younger, thinking that maybe I would tell a white lie, for example, because I thought I was protecting somebody or something from the truth that I felt might hurt their feelings, that always ended up being much worse of a situation than just coming out with the truth from the very beginning. And So yeah, I just learned life got a lot easier when everything just became very transparent and upfront. And that way you can always just tell people, hey, I told you exactly what was going on. And you never have to worry about anyone catching you in some type of lie, because you just don't do it. So I will always be transparent with you guys about everything. And yeah, I mean, when we have mistakes, I admit it, and we're not perfect, but we're trying to get there. Question, I want to start my own DeFi project, merging the physical and digital world. Once I have things settled, I would like to reach you. What is your advice for me? Thanks, mate. Well, okay. So for anyone, yeah, and this is, I highly encourage, you to go for it. Making the transition into crypto is, in my opinion, the best thing that anyone can do for their life, like full time in crypto. And don't be afraid to dive in and take a risk. I've got a good friend, Ivan, the founder of QuiverX, and I'll tell you a quick story about Ivan. I went to go, there's an instrument, I don't know if you guys know it, called a hand pan, amazing instrument. And here in Thailand, I saw someone playing one in a restaurant one night, and I just got fascinated with it. And I just had to have one. So when I went back to California in 2019 for Christmas, I had to have one. And so in Santa Monica, I found one on Craigslist, and I went to go buy one from the guy. And I asked him if he would take Bitcoin. And he didn't really, he knew what it was, but never had done it, I think. And so the hand pan was, I don't know, $1,500 or something. So he took $300 of Bitcoin, and the rest was cash. And at the time, he was like an entrepreneur. He had his like medicinal mushroom kind of venture that he was doing. And I kind of sat down with him for a little bit, talked to him about crypto and why I was excited about it. And then he contacted me like, 6 months later out of the blue, and it's like, Kyle, like, after we had this conversation, I've been aping into all these kind of DeFi yield farming and blah, 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 and then made good money. And I'm going to launch my own project. And so he just dove in full on. And he just kind of reached out to me. And for a long time, I just gave him kind of advice. So, he'd come to me and say, this is where I'm at. I'd say, well, you should do this, this, and this. And then we'd hang up the call. Then he'd go back and do that, and that, come back to me. And we worked like that for a while, until I felt like he was at a place where I felt confident in his ability to move forward, and the idea was fine-tuned and things like that. And so he's still moving along. The mistakes, I think he launched too soon. Should have taken a little more time, but that doesn't matter because he's making great strides in progress. And I'm excited to see how his project evolves over time, because I think what he's doing is a useful idea. And so, yeah, I just encourage you to do it. One thing that you can do is you can go and look at a lot of the projects that are going to launch that haven't done their TGE yet. Paid Network hasn't updated our website, and it's still the same way that it was before TGE. And we are working on a new website. But with that being said, you can still go to our website and go under documents, and you can look at the documents that we've created, the marketing deck, the token metrics, the white paper, and you can use that as a reference to get your project to a place to where then you can come talk to someone like myself who would be willing to look at it and give you some feedback. And if it's an amazing idea, and I suggest like building a team, and really trying to learn, learning the best that you can from everything that's going on. Look at the projects that have done well, look at the ones that haven't, and see who's doing what and how they're doing it well. Look at their marketing, what kind of messaging are they putting out, how engaged are they, things like that. And when you have a team, make sure that you have, it's also important to, in my opinion, to come to someone like myself with some type of product built. So usually projects will start with what's called a friends and family round, where you raise money from your friends and family. Whatever it is that you need to hire some developers, if you're not one already, to start building your product. Because like for me, I want to see that some tech has been built, that you're at MVP stage or something like that. And so that we can kind of assess, who are the quality of your developers and blah, blah, blah. So that's the kind of advice that I would give you. With that, I could go on for hours, but that would just take up the whole AMA. Hey, Kyle, when helping us immigrate to Thailand, as soon as we have House of DAO up and running, we will have some kind of portal on there that helps with people who want to come, and we can help with things like visas, transportation, things like that. So that will be coming. Kyle, a few of us are moving to Portugal. Can we have a House of DAO in Algarve? I haven't looked into that city yet, but I do love Portugal, and I commend them for what they're doing from a political perspective and a social economic perspective. And I think it's an amazing country. I know a lot of people have moved there. 0% crypto taxes and liberal governments and cool vibes and all that kind of stuff. I would love to do a House of DAO in Portugal, and I definitely want to look into this Algarve. Actually, I'm just going to make a little note right now. Ugar. Okay, I'll check it out. Thanks for the tip. Yeah, definitely. Would like to expand into different places. Portugal, a lot of people have wanted that, and I think it would be amazing. Especially because we have to have some locations in Europe, and you want to be somewhere that's obviously crypto friendly, which I know Portugal is. Is staking on the MantraDAO platform affecting our whitelisting? It's a great question. I don't know the answer to it yet. I just saw actually. So we have, my team is pretty big right now. I think we have like 60 people, and we've got different departments. One of them is business development. And I remember making the introduction to our business development team and JP from MantraDAO like 3 or 4 months ago. So I totally forgot about it. And then I saw the announcement today that that Paid would be able to be staked on their platform. And so that's a great question. I don't know the answer to it. Let me make another note. Man. Okay, made a note. We'll try to get the answer for that, and we'll try to just share it within the Paid community as well. That's a very good question. Please make Paid available on PancakeSwap. It will be. So our bridge is completed from ERC20 to BEP20. It's going through smart contract audits now and should be live, I don't know, in 1 or 2 weeks. And then it will be on PancakeSwap. I haven't heard anything to say about global balance offering today. I might have, I obviously chat with the project founder. I guess this was a tentative timeline. I don't know if it actually happened today or not. I'm not sure. We are on Koh Phangan in Thailand, next to Koh Samui. Hey Kyle, I saw one of the paid mods in the Moonbeam Network Telegram group. Something we should know. Um, well, we do like Moonbeam. Or speaking with them. Uh, as far as our layer 2 for Polkadot, in the meantime, I'm not sure if we'll end up using Plasma or Moonbeam, but it'll definitely be one of them. Let's go paid. Which one of the upcoming projects are you seeing on the same level as AO's Split and Blind Boxes who done 100x? I think, I think that, so doing 100x out of the gate, I think it's something that we're not really seeing right now because the market is so saturated. But I think that a lot of the projects that we're launching have potential to do 100x, especially over the course of the next few months. I definitely think that like Globe is one of those projects. It has the potential to be the next BitMEX. Just tremendous potential to be one of the largest derivatives exchanges in the entire world. Let's see, and I mean, a lot of projects like Shield Finance coming up. Shield is tremendously important. I mean, it's a insurance protocol that allows us to take protection against major market corrections and price drops. So a lot of you, and myself included, have PTSD from 2018, or even just like whenever you see big price corrections, people panic. Imagine being able to pay a small price for insurance to protect you against any type of major market corrections. So I think even something like Shield Finance is going to be incredibly important. Very, very excited about that. Kyle, can you open an office of House of DAO in Singapore? I will help you. You can just pay me in paid. Singapore is the best hub city for blockchain and startup. Man, Singapore. I understand that we should probably have some hubs in the more financial districts like New York, like London, maybe Tokyo, Singapore. You just won't find me in Singapore. You can be killed for smoking a joint. I don't want to be in an environment where my life is at stake if I want to relax a little bit. You know what I mean? But we could we could have a hub there, and House of DAO people that want to be in Singapore could go and enjoy it over there. Bavish, what is House of DAO? You can go to houseofdao.io to get a bit more information. It's still, the website still doesn't have the full picture there. I mean, the website portrays House of DAO as a crypto and blockchain centered co-working, co-living space, but really in the reality, it's really something that we're building as a more a community for people who don't subscribe to the idea of the white picket fence and the 9-to-5 job and the house and blah blah blah. It's really for people that want to live a different type of lifestyle. And I can go into it for hours. I mean, this is my biggest and most ambitious type of project is House of DAO, and that's what everything we're building is ultimately for. So maybe I'll do, as it becomes more of a reality. Right now, we're still negotiating for a property, and this one might work out, it might not work out. But as it becomes more of something that is in the immediate, for sure, future, I'll probably do some type of AMA or webinar or whatever to speak about House of DAO specifically. Yeah. I think on my YouTube channel, like a long time ago, 12 months ago, I made a video called "Everything That You've Been Told Is a Lie." That's a good place to start if you're interested in kind of the concept behind House of DAO. Shield versus BMI, which one is better? They're different, right? BMI covers DeFi. Shield is a completely different product. And Shield is also a insurance aggregator, right? So you could still get BMI coverage using Shield. It's an aggregator as well. So you can just use Shield to get the best price on all kinds of crypto insurance plays. Crypto Bara, if you need a chef there, I can come. I love Thailand and I love Paid. Man, that would be amazing. You can definitely come and cook for us. It'd be great. You know, we have an amazing chef right now that makes our lunches, but funny enough today, she just said today when she's making lunch, I hope I don't, I hope I can do something else at House of Dow instead of working in the kitchen. She used to manage a resort that we had taken over in 2018 as well here. And really enjoys interacting with people and the guests and things like that. And that's where she wants to be. So what are you cooking us? Let's talk about it. Sounds amazing. All right, guys. It is coming up on, it's past an hour now, and I have got to go. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate you being here. Feel free to leave some comments. Let me know what I missed. You can message me on Twitter or whatever. Is there a secret code where we can put it? Where did you hear about Paid? Question on the whitelist. No, there's no secret password. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Appreciate all of you guys tuning in. It means a lot to me. And I will catch you next week. Bye-bye.